Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mr. Bello Avdu, and our TEDr Hardcore Economics today, 17th, 2026. We have two street anchors, one from Sokoto and one from Zamfara State. Unfortunately, they are yet to join the meeting. However, I would like to start discussing some economic concepts that are applicable to the current realities in Nigeria. For example, let's talk about demand. What is demand? Because everything about economics has to do with demand and supply. What are you demanding? What are you supplying? Demand and supply. Now, in an atmosphere where you have inflation, just the way we have now in Nigeria, which is a global phenomenon, you understand, it's difficult for you to have a country or an economy where there's no a little bit of inflation. Inflation, technically, it's not as if inflation is bad. You understand? It's not as if it's completely bad. It has its own positive side. But when you have inflation that is out of control, it's bad. And where the supply of goods and services is not forthcoming, mostly within the domestic economy and from the external economy, there are logistic problem and other challenges like the current conflict along the Strait of Hormuz. So such kind of situation compound the domestic demand of the average household. So what is demand? Demand is what? Is what? Because at times people just say, I wish to have this, I desire to have this. These are mere desires or want. Want are not backed by the ability to purchase that particular goods or services. So your demand is any goods or services that you have the ability to purchase at a given price and time. You have the ability, the monetary backing, and the willingness to purchase that goods and services. These are your demand. So in a situation as we have currently in Nigeria, where there's serious inflation, and in most African countries and most countries across the globe, you need to work on your demand. What do you demand? In a situation where there's serious inflation, what should be your demand? Your demand should be necessities. You get it? It should be necessity, things that you cannot do without. Not things you can do without, or things that are not really necessity. So, for example, you talk about food. You can't do without food. As a normal human being, at least you need to eat once in a day, or twice a day, or 3 times. So you cannot do without food. You cannot do with accommodation. Where do you sleep? Where do you sleep? Accommodation. You cannot do without it. because you need to sleep somewhere or you become homeless. Then you cannot do without clothing. You cannot do without what? Clothing. You need to put on something. You don't need to walk naked and tattered and somebody that is not mentally stable. So these things are very, very important: food, accommodation, clothing. Then now, do you work or are you a self-employed person? If you work or you are a self-employed person, do you need to pay transportation to where you work or to where you conduct your trade? If yes, then you need to make provision for transportation. You need to make provision for what? Transportation fees. Is very, very important because you need to eat, you need place to put your head to sleep if you are single for yourself, or if you are a family person for yourself and your family. Then you need clothing for yourself as well for your family if you have a dependent or if you are married, and etc., etc. Then you need transportation to go to your place of work or to uh, your location where you do your business. Then you need something a little bit for emergency, because you cannot really predict when you fall sick, where you have emergency or some kind of thing. So you need a little bit amount of money in place for emergency. So now you see that you need to look at your income. What can your income take care of? Can it readily take care of feeding, accommodation, clothing, transportation, emergency, and maybe savings? Now, these savings can as well be the same thing as for emergency. In case there's emergency, then you fall back to your savings. But if there's no emergency, then that money set aside can now be kept as savings, and maybe in the future you can put them together and make an investment. You understand? So now we have let's say five most important things that you need to make provision for with regards to your demand. Any other thing outside these five necessities shouldn't bother you. In order to be able to sustain yourself, your dependents, or your family or your loved ones within this situation, because I'm only here to give you some coping strategies on how to uh, to maneuver your way out of the current realities. Inflation is everywhere. It's a global issue. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The more there's a ongoing crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, the more the price of goods and services will skyrocket across the globe. That is confirmed because the global position that 20% of crude oil comes from this and what passed through this is just an understatement. What passed through the Strait of Hormuz is beyond that 20% that we usually hear in the public domain. So food is very, very important. The moment you earn your income, make provision for food. If you don't eat, you will not be able to do anything. Make provision for food. Because feeding is a daily activity. It's a daily activity. You have to eat daily. Now, clothing. You can repeat a trouser in a week with 3 shirts. I'm just giving you strategies to cope. You can have lesser trousers and more shirts. You can clean up your shirts even if they are not new. You iron them, make them look smart, and you can use your thing. The most important thing is that you are not naked on the street, and whatever you are wearing is not what? Dirty. As long they are clean and you are covered, then you are good to go. So you don't need to continuously buying clothes every month. No. If you have 4 shirts, you have 2 trousers, these things can take you for a very long time. Provided you have your food that you can take, that you can feed daily yourself and your loved ones, your family, and you also have a certain amount of your income that you are keeping aside, so that the accumulation by the end of the year for your rent can pay up your next rent, because that is important. Because the more the economy is biting everybody, it's biting you as an individual, it's biting your landlord or landlady. So the level of understanding within the economy and giving people a little bit time to pay will be very, very low, because whatever you are feeling as a tenant is the same thing the landlord or landlady is also what? Facing. So if you don't pay, and most disturbing is if your landlord or landlady depends on the rent for his own upkeep and his family whatsoever, then you see that landlord or landlady would seriously be on you for his or her rent once time is due. And you can even have situation where some landlord or landladies don't even wait till the expiration. They will start asking you to give them something, because them too are also what? Also pressed. So while you are feeding, which is a daily thing, activity, keep aside some money so that it can accumulate to pay your rent. If it's 6 months you are paying, if it's monthly, if it's 1 year, you need to set aside some amount of money, so that when it accumulates by the end of the year, by the end of the cycle of your rent, if you are paying yearly or monthly, then you'll be able to pay. Then clothing, the ones you have, clean them up, look smart, look clean. You can use fewer trousers with plenty shirts. If you have 5 shirts and you work 5 days in a week, or you work 7 days maybe in your business or whatsoever, 5 shirts, 2 trousers will take you a long way throughout every month, and you still look what? Smart. The most important thing is, this is not a time to impress anybody with your look, but you have to look clean and you have to look what? Smart. So what you need to do is that you make sure your clothing are clean, and you have to a certain number, like 5 shirts, 2 trousers, or 6 shirts, 2 trousers, or 7 shirts, 2 trousers. You change them continuously, you keep them clean and whatsoever, and you continue life. You don't need to develop a mental stress and look like your problem, because when you look like your problem, you may likely not be able to survive the current situation. So you still need to find a way out, and this current realities. Look smart, look clean, and look alive. That is the most important, because there's always hope. Then your transportation, you need that, very important. If you miss work, if you're working for somebody, you may lose your work. And if you are operating your business that you need to go to the specific place or specific location, and you don't have transport to go, and for that reason some days you don't go to work, you are going to lose customers and clients. And if it's a trekkable place, then you can combine trekking as well as transportation. Maybe in the morning where you need to go early, then you can transport and go so that you don't go late. Then the closing time where you don't, nobody will say you are late coming back home, then you can combine it with trekking. And the truth is, at times, even the trekking is also medicinal and is part of exercise. So you can also look at it from that angle and say, okay, I will walk back home as a part of exercise. These are all coping strategies we need to survive no matter how the economic situation is in our country. Then for emergency, you need to keep some savings, no matter how little it is. You understand? When you have emergency, you should have something that you can always fall back to. You understand? That you can always fall back to, so that even if you need external support, it will be that you have something to start taking care of this particular emergency before you seek for help from others. Because the truth of the matter is, you'll be surprised that even the person you are looking up to provide you or support might also be facing the same problem. So if there's no emergency and you kept some money as savings in case there is emergency, if there's no emergency, that money becomes savings, and you can use it to add up to whatever investment or whatever thing. Now, the most unfortunate thing that anybody would do now is to invest in consumption or demanding things that are not necessity. That are not necessities. In this present situation in Nigeria, is to demand things that are not necessities. For example, you said you want to organize birthday for yourself, or birthday for your children, or birthday for... If you have the means to do it, I don't have a problem. You can go ahead and do it. It's okay, provided it makes you happy. But if you don't have the means to do it, you don't have food, your rent is behind, you don't have good clothes to go to work and to go to your business, and your transportation might be affected, and you want to invest in a birthday celebration for yourself or for your loved ones or whatsoever, I think that is not a right choice. If you try to prioritize what you need, what the necessity before you, then that will not be a good decision. Or you want to get married in this current reality, and the lady you want to get married to as a man, or a family, is making demands of a flamboyant wedding ceremony or reception, and making demands of things they know you cannot afford, things that they know your current income position cannot comfortably afford, then I will advise you not to accept such kind of a pressure at this time. And even at every time, you don't allow people to push you into what you cannot afford. It doesn't make any sense. As long the person knows that your income level cannot afford this, and that person insisted that you have to do this or do that, do this, if not, this will not hold. Please, it's better it shouldn't hold, because this person is asking you to either get a credit, you become indebted, And after the marriage, how do you feed yourself, feed the new partner? Because you have to feed whoever you got married to. Then if you are blessed, pregnancy gets in, baby comes in, the expenses have increased. The expenses you now have increased, but your income level has decreased. The real income level has decreased because the more the prices of goods and services are increasing, your nominal income, salary remain the same, but what you cannot afford now start dropping, so it has what? Decreased. You understand? Before, let's say in 2015, you can afford no, in 2014, you can afford a bag of rice less than 10,000 naira. Today, what is a bag of rice? And you are still on the same salary, for instance. So you need to put all these things into consideration. You understand? People say, no, no, in a traditional Nigerian adage, they'll tell you that now how monkey hand be, now they use cover in face. You don't go borrow another person and cover in face. So if you understand me very well, you cannot use somebody's income to take care of your need. You use what you can afford. So if the family of whoever you want to get married and the lady involved said, you have to do this, you have to buy this, you have to do this, and they know you cannot afford it with your present income, and you too, you know you cannot, then please let them know you cannot afford it. They should accept what you can afford. And if they say they cannot accept it, please look for who will accept you based on what you can afford. That is better for you when it comes to your mental health and living a sustainable, happy life after marriage. Because at times there are many things we do in our society that is just mere playing to the gallery, trying to satisfy people, the public, the community, and whatsoever, which are not really important. For example, you want to have the best wedding, you want to make sure this is that. Who cares? You cannot have the best wedding. After your wedding, somebody will do what is more than that. And wedding should be something you do within some minutes, blah 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 stuff. Everybody disperse. It should not become a feeding carnival. We hear people will tell you, imagine somebody will come to a wedding and will tell you, giving you order, as if it's in a restaurant. It's giving you order, give me this and this. It's giving you order in your wedding he wants to eat this, he wants to eat this. For God's sake. I don't know where we invented that kind of lifestyle. It's giving you order, putting you under pressure, you give him that, then what would that person forgive you during your wedding? I'm not saying you should not spend for your wedding. If you want to make it a Nigeria national wedding, there's no problem. If you can afford it, good and fine. But what I'm saying is that, can you afford it? Is it a necessity? Is it something you can do without, or something you cannot do without? If it's something you can do without and you don't have the means, please do without it. If it's something you cannot do without it, then you need to find a way to do it. If it's to get a loan or whatsoever, then you have to do that. Like when you talk about feeding yourself and your family, you cannot do without it. If you are a single person, maybe bachelor or spinster or whatsoever, you can take 001 or 101, or you can even go into dry fasting. You understand? That is you. But when you have children, you cannot do those things. You understand? You cannot do those things. Because even they look at their faces and their response and whatsoever, You cannot be yourself. Mostly as a man, it you are completely affected mentally, psychologically, physically, and everything is affected. So once you have your income, or once whatsoever your salary is paid, you need to sit down and you start applying what computation, combination of things. What is important? If your wife should give you list this and what they need, yes, you look at it. Which one is important? Which is important? Whatever is important, you take. You take. Continue taking according to what you have as your income. Make provision for your transportation. Do you have good clothes to go to work? If you have it, yes, you take what is important. Stop at what is important. Make provision for your transportation to work or to your place of business. Keep something for emergency. Children can fall sick, or you can fall sick, or somebody can fall sick, or whatsoever. Keep something as savings. In case there's emergency, you fall back to it. If there's no emergency, then it becomes a savings. Then these are some of the strategies you can apply in this current situation. So now, if you've done all those things, then the next thing you need to do to sustain and augment your demand, your consumption, is you need to diversify. You need to diversify your income stream. If you are a salary earner, you work in an organization, or for the government, they pay you salary, then you need to look at your working schedule. When do you go to work and when do you close? When you study this schedule, when do you go to work and when do you close? Is it that you work 5 days in a week and Saturday, Sunday you don't work? Mostly as a man, and even as a woman, you can also support. So you look at it, okay, if I work 5 days in a week, or I go to my business 5 days in a week, what other thing can I do on Saturday and Sunday when I don't go to work? Or maybe after I come back from church, if you're a Christian, or as a Christian, you have to go to church on Sunday. Once you come back from church, what can you do to earn something or to reduce the cost on what you purchase on your demand? Because you have to be creative. You understand? That is compulsory. So if it means you need to personally carry out some services that you do pay people to carry out for you, and you need to now do it personally by yourself on Saturday and Sunday, please do it to reduce cost. When you reduce cost, that reduction in cost can be used to augment another demand or another consumption. Then, if you are married and your wife is also working, please, for the women, this is the best time to support your husband. Yes, we know in the traditional African society, it's the responsibility of the man to provide for the family. But when you know that whatever your husband is earning at the current period cannot go beyond what he can afford, I think there's nothing wrong if you also support with the little you have. If you do that, you will definitely be rewarded by your creator. Then if you don't do that, it's still your own personal business. It's not as if I'm trying to compel you or force you, but what is the essence of family if we cannot support each other in the trying times? So you can also support in one way or the other. So that is one way or the other. So you look at what you can also do to augment your income stream. So if as a Muslim you go to mosque on Friday after closing from work, or maybe you leave your business, you go to mosque, after mosque you come back. If you're a civil servant or you work in an organization, you close by 4, After mosque, you go back home. Think of what you can do within that period before you sleep in the night. Then on Saturday, Sunday, you don't maybe you don't go to work if you're a civil servant or you work in a private organization. Think of what you can do for some hours to earn something or to reduce your cost, your household expenditure is very, 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 very important. You understand? So you do that, then you also try to 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 look for a better offer if it's possible. Look for a better business if it's possible. Whatever you can do within the legal framework to to improve your welfare is very, very important at this present time in Nigeria. So your demand, which to a great extent is also in one way or the other equal to your consumption, because what you demand them to consume, or maybe you demand them for further production where it becomes maybe capital. So if you are demanding for consumption, you need to stick to what is whatever is necessity to you and your loved one uh, for for a sustained welfare. What is not necessity, you drop it aside. Let's say your wife put to bed. If you are a Muslim, you need to buy ram. You need to do some things. If you're a Christian, you also have some celebrations you need to do. What is important? What is important for you to do in the course of naming of that newborn baby? Do it. Whatever is not important, you forget about it. Ruth, are you there?
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good
I've been
evening.
trying to join.
Okay, I was online and I decided to have a one-on-one presentation on some concept with regards to economics. You guys, I
Okay.
don't know what happened. We already have 5 minutes to ramp to conclude the first part, but no problem. We can continue. The other guy has not joined. So, what is the
Okay.
positioning of things in Zamfara? You can introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ruth Onachio Joshugu
Okay.
from Zamfara.
Okay. So go ahead.
So when it comes to like how the economic situation of Zamfara, I would say that things are more expensive now
Okay.
because a bag of fresh corn, as of today, it was sold for 35,000 naira for a bag of fresh corn.
Okay.
And it was like previous years, it started from 15,000 and it started climbing up like that. Now it's 35,000.
Okay. Then what again? So things are very expensive. Is it mostly
Yes,
food items or services or what? What are expensive?
food items are expensive, but what type of services?
No, I don't know. You know, you are in Zamfara. Okay, from your interaction with people, their complaints mainly with regards to food. Really?
Yes, food are very expensive. When it comes to services, I would say that they are not paying much. For instance, tailoring is a service, right?
Yes. Yes.
So they're not paying much compared to other states because people would rather go and get food to eat than to go clothes or something. Yes. Then people like shop owners too. I think the highest they pay a girl the last time I asked was around 20,000, and 20,000 is not something that you work from morning till night. Some people go from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 20,000. And some employers still don't pay at the end of the month. I know somebody who they are still owing her for like 6 months, and she
Mm.
still has to go for with the hope that okay, they will pay her at once, maybe 30,000. That's what they pay her per month.
Is okay. This is really unfortunate because how would the person be able to continue coming to work when there's no salary and expenses? Even the salary is low and our
Yeah.
expenses is high. How can such person continue to work? Hmm? This is
Sometimes they borrow money before the salary comes. So they'll just borrow. When the salary comes, hopefully they pay back. That's how they used to do it.
and now the person the land the whoever is the owner of the shop uh is owing her 6 months.
Yeah, for like 6 months now, they have not paid her.
But that is not proper because how will this person work for you efficiently if you are not paying the person because it's part of whatever the person earns. That is what you will use to continue coming to work.
Yeah.
Is it that the business is not the person she's working for? The business is not moving, the person is not selling or is not providing services to people.
The business is actually moving according to her because she's just a cleaner there. When she cleans, then she comes back home. But
Okay.
the business is moving. They are workers, but she, the cleaner, they're not paying her.
I thought this looks like it looks like wickedness.
It is actually.
It looks like wickedness because when somebody renders services, that person should be paid at the agreed time. That is a contract. The moment you agree with somebody that I'm going to pay you by the end of the month, even if there's any unforeseen circumstance why you will not be able to pay that person, then you should be able to let the person understand and give the person a definite date that you are going to offset the payment. But for somebody to just be working for you for 6 months and you did not pay is shared wickedness. It's wickedness because now she is in a trap. If I stop now, I might not get salary for the remaining period I've worked.
Yes.
And this is how she might continue that way for a very long time. Only God knows if the person will later end up paying her or not. So now, why are food crops expensive? That is what people will
I
ask.
would say,
Okay.
yes. One of the reasons is because of insecurity. People are not farming that much. In fact, right now, the fresh corn that I'm talking about, there's no fresh corn from Zamfara State. They have to bring it from other states for them to sell.
Hmm. Because people can no longer go to farming because of the insecurity and the attack. This is quite unfortunate. And Zamfara is a predominantly agricultural state. Farming is our pride. I think that is their slogan.
Yes, yes.
So people cannot go to farm. People cannot produce more farm produce. When there's no more farm produce, then whatever is available will be less than what people demand, and price will shoot up continuously, shooting up. And it's not just only the insecurity that is affecting the farming. because even the inputs, what they need to fertilizers and whatsoever, water
Mm.
pumping machine, fuel, because if you are using water pumping machine, you need fuel. All those inputs are also experiencing expensive prices because of the inflation. So at the end, when you're able to produce any farm produce, the final price will be expensive. And again, when
Expensive.
you to sell those produce again in the market, there's some group of unions that they did not farm, but you, the farmer, will bring your produce to the market. You cannot sell it direct to consumers or buyers. You have to now give it to the
Mm.
union to sell, who will now add their own markup for not adding any value to the process. For not adding any value. I used to experience that in a Kara market in Sokoto. When you want to buy a bag of
Yeah, that.
tomato or half basket, the farmers are here with their produce from the farm, but they cannot sell to you directly. They have to give it to some union, and the union will increase the
Mm.
price and the rest. So these are some of the things.
Even
Okay.
one woman was complaining about union because she's selling rubber, this normal rubber. They are still collecting money from their hand. As yesterday, I went to get something.
Okay.
They came to collect 1,000 naira for one woman, and she has not sold anything that yesterday. I was her first customer throughout the day, and they wanted to collect 14,000 naira.
For what?
They said it's for signboard or something like that. Yes, for the signboard that she placed.
Okay,
But
Nigeria
revenue people still come to the same shop to collect money again.
with revenue. Okay, God, it's well, okay. It's quite uh, uh, unfortunate with the current realities, but we need to survive. And how do we survive in these current realities? Because some of the situations currently in the country is beyond individual control. You cannot really control the price of goods and services. On your own, you cannot bring security to your state. You cannot increase farm produce and whatsoever. But you can do some things personally to avoid to be able to survive. You understand? To be able to survive. If you are a business person and mostly you are a salary earner, at this time, sef, the business people are, I think they are better off than the salary earner, because when the prices of
Yes,
goods
yes,
increase, the business will also increase their own price of goods. But a salary
yes.
earner, whatever they pay you, that's what they are paying. No matter the price in the market, you are on your own. You understand? So now, what do? You need to know what are necessities for you for your continuous survival in the country. And just as I was presenting before you joined the call, you see, food is the most important necessity to everybody. You understand? Feeding yourself and your
Yeah.
loved ones are this is the most important thing. Then followed by accommodation. You need place to stay. You cannot sleep on the street. You cannot become homeless in your own country, though it's possible, and unfortunately it happens. And not even only
Sure.
Nigeria, across the globe, you see people that are homeless. They cannot afford accommodation, and they have to sleep on the street or wherever they find themselves. They sleep there. The next day they continue. It's common, but it's an unfortunate situation, because every human being should be able to feed himself or herself or her loved ones, and have a place to sleep. whether it's on rent or your personal, you should have a place to sleep. Then you should be able to cover your nakedness, which is clothing. These are very, very important. It might not be expensive, it might not be new, but you have something clean, something smart to cover your nakedness. Then if you are a worker or a business person that you require transportation to go to where you work or to go to where you do your business, you also need transportation, which is even part of what I was saying before you joined the call. Because if you don't go to work because of transportation, whoever employs you may sack you. And if you cannot go to your business place because of transportation, you will lose customers and clients. And also, if if your working place is not too far or your business place is not too far, this is the best time to combine it with trekking. People will say, yes, trekking is not a good thing. Yes, it's not, but it's a coping strategy because whether you like it or not, life must continue. You understand? No matter the situation of the life must continue. And it's your ability to be creative about your demands, your consumption, and how you use your limited resources that will make you to be able to pull through this difficult situation. So I was saying that, okay, with regards to transportation, if you are working for some persons or for some organization, you see you need to be early to work so that you don't go late. You may transport yourself while going, but when you close from that work, nobody will say you are late coming back home, provided you are not going to be very late that will expose you to insecurity or whatsoever. Then you can trek back home, or you can reduce the transportation cost by trekking to a certain level. Then you combine it with transportation. Then from the income you earn from your business or from salary, you can also save little, don't eat everything. Save little in case of emergency. At times, if you're a family man in Nigeria and you have a child, this is a practical example. This is a situation where you can just come home, they'll tell you matches has finished, mangi has finished, salt has finished, some kind of small, small things that without them, even if you have rice or whatever, you cannot cook that food. So you need to have a little amount of savings in place in case of this unforeseen circumstance. And for the young couples, those new guys in marriage with new kids, their experience will be that their wife can tell them this is the last pampers. That is very, very common among women. They can just tell you this is the last pampers. You understand? Because this is really frustrating when a man has nothing in place and you are not telling the man that this is the last pampers. As a woman, you should also be assisting the man to monitor your whatever uh, resources you guys are using on daily basis throughout the month, so that you can keep the provider or the breadwinner informed ahead of time, so that he can make some adjustment and also make extra effort, but not to take him by surprise and say this is the last pampers, or there's no salt, or this has finished, or I'm cooking the last rice. Very common among women mostly. If you are a man that you are married, you understand what I'm saying. But you now you are not married, but maybe you see it in your household or whatever, or among people around you. These are common situations mostly with young family, or even those that are not young. The woman will always break your heart with this kind of sad situation whereby you are not prepared for, you don't have something set aside to take care of, and they will just tell you about the emergency. This is the last pampers, matches has finished, there's no pepper, there's no this, there's no this, I'm cooking the last rice. This is so. What do? It exposes the breadwinners to so many kind of frustration. Could be psychological, mental, and whatsoever. And at times, is some of the reasons why you see some men develop a high BP or the collapse, because some women can relate all the negative situation at once to you. Pepe has finished, this has finished, blah 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 blah. I'm not trying to be on the men's side or be against the women, but I'm only telling you based on the reality. And when you ask any man that is married, he will share this experience to you, how women will give you inappropriate notice for the daily supplies for the family. So so whoever is watching this clip, maybe on our YouTube channel, as a woman or as a man, don't leave the woman to keep you informed on the supplies. Also go to the kitchen, check those supplies yourself so that you will not be in a sorry state. You understand? Check the supplies by yourself as long as you are in that same house. And women, you should also check the supplies, what we have. Take a minute, and I always, when you are married to an educated person, I find it very offensive if such an educated person fail to do these things by taking stock. You need to take stock of what we have in the house. Okay, we have this rice, we have beans, we have this. Okay, how long will it take? You have it. As you are using it, you are taking note of how many days the remaining one will do, and you are keeping whoever is providing to. This is the rice we have. Is going to last for so day. This is going to last, so that that person will make necessary adjustment and effort to see how to replenish that when it's exhausted. But just breaking the news anytime is really frustrating. I'm a man, also a married person, and there are situations where a very cheap something and a very small something can become so really frustrating because of you are not adequately informed in time. So this is one of strategies I want to share with men and also female, mostly for those that are into marriage. And even if you're not into marriage, living on your own, you need to also take stock of what you have of your supplies. You need to also take stock of the fund you have, what and what you can take care of before the month. You understand? You need to do these things. Because there's nobody today you can just call and say, please assist me with this, and you'll be expecting that that person will have it available. It's not possible. And even if that person has it available, it's possible it's for his own emergency. You understand? So that you don't say this person is wicked, they're asking for social help, this small amount. Most people are really after themselves. If they give you, how would they take care of their own needs if the need arises? You understand? So do you get what I'm saying? Hello? Hello, Ruth.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, so that is with regards to cost of living. Inflation is all over the globe. not only Nigeria, but the Nigeria situation is worst, and which is as a result of so many issues. For example, our productivity base is falling. We can't, just the way you talk about insecurity affecting the agricultural sector. People cannot farm. That is one. Then another issue is our salary. Our salary scheme is so low that it does not reflect the cost of living of an average worker in Nigeria, because what people earn cannot really take them home. Even if you just have a small moderate family, the salary is not commensurable to the cost of living and the country. So, but in other countries, you see that no matter the work you are doing, whatever you are being paid is far enough to take care of your basic necessity and whatever you need to live the least accepted living standard in that society. So that is one. Then the third issue is that we are not really producing. We are not really producing from individual level, government at all levels. We are not really producing. Because when we talk about insecurity, insecurity is not everywhere in the country and it's not everywhere in the state. So you need to ask yourself, what is the government, the state level, at the state level is doing with regards to agriculture? If you cannot farm because of insecurity, then you should be able to adopt a policy that will bring this produce to your state or to your country at a subsidized rate, so that they can cushion the effect of inflation for the average masses. Then improvement in the salary scheme, and provision of some of the basic services at a subsidized rate, like transportation. If you have a government transport system that people can use at a cheaper fee, that will reduce the financial burden on them to work, to school, or to wherever they are doing their business. Because of the cost of petrol is high and it continues to increase. So, which other issues are people complaining from Zamfara again? Hello?
Mike is muted. I think for now that is all actually. Aside from the okay. Aside from the insecurity and the salary, it's not really doing anything at all.
Okay, so in Zamfara, people are only concerned about the cost of living with regards to food. That is
Yeah.
the major problem. Okay.
Accommodation too is now expensive. Accommodation too is getting expensive.
In Zamfara, what is let's say in Gusu, for instance, in a good environment where the house, there's water, 2 bedroom will cost like how much for a year?
Two bed. I don't know of 2 bedroom, but I know a single room is around 150 to 200.
Man, 150 to 200.
Yes. And the toilet is outside in the compound.
Okay, where they share toilets,
They share.
not
Yes.
self-contained. So it means
No,
self-contained
no.
may likely be around 250 to 300 and above.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is also because of building equipment are also very, very expensive now. Building
Yes.
equipment are
And
very.
people
Okay.
people have houses like in Damba, um, maybe within Gusto, but just the outskirts of Gusto, but they can no longer stay there. So most people are moving into town.
Okay, I think is a similar situation in Sokoto too, because people are leaving the rural areas. You understand
Yes.
the rural areas and other local men to the state capital because of the insecurity. Some of them have their houses in those areas, but they have to move because
Yes.
of the insecurity to the state capital. So now the state capital has more people who are demanding
Mm.
for accommodation, and the available accommodation is few to reach these people.
It's true.
So because of
And they cannot sell their home.
okay, because of this guy said he's online.